Hello, my name is Damon Friedman, co-founder and president of SOF Missions. As a 20-year veteran within Special Operations, I've gone through many challenges due to my military service and time in combat. We felt called to start SOF Missions to serve our fellow brothers and sisters in arms, focusing on suicide prevention and resiliency. Our mission at SOF Missions is to empower warriors to find purpose and be resilient. Since 2011, when we started the organization, almost 3 million men and women have deployed to Iraq and Afghanistan. Unfortunately, the scars of war take a toll on their psychological, physical, social, and spiritual health. Many veterans feel a sense of hopelessness and a loss of purpose when they return to civilian life. They feel isolated and alone, unable to reconnect. And in the greatest of tragedies, over 20 veterans lose all hope and take their own lives. Our goal at SOF Missions is to provide veterans the tools and resources so that they don't become a statistic. We offer a unique approach to combating veteran suicide through a whole health intradisciplinary model. The Be Resilient program is a 4-pillar methodology that addresses the areas of psychological, physical, social, and spiritual wellness. We provide care through 3 delivery methods: medical clinics, retreats, and educational training. Since we started back in 2011, we have been able to reach veterans in all 50 states and have served over 3,000 veterans through the Be Resilient program. Being resilient is a multifaceted and complex issue. We know that to find a lasting solution, we have to address the whole warrior. Many challenges cannot be solved by providing the treatments and modalities of just one component, but by tackling them all. Now, we've expanded our services to include law enforcement and first responders. Together, we can make a lasting impact in the lives of warriors across the nation. To learn more, visit our website at sofmissions.org.
All right. Welcome back.
Misfit Nation, the Misfit Nation Show.
We are a show founded by a veteran and hosted by 2 veterans and a military spouse. Our mission is to get people to tell their stories to the world. If you're an author, share your tips with the Misfit Nation. If you're a musician or an actor, our audience needs to know how they too can get into the business. Coaches, we love our coaches. Come on and share your tips with the Misfit Nation to help them become better versions of themselves. If you are a corporate leader or an entrepreneur, come on and show how you did it and how hard you have fought for success. If you are a veteran, first responder, or Gold Star family, we would love to have you come on and share your story with the Misfit Nation. We always have time for you. If you're feeling down, alone, or starting to see the darkness, Stop. Think about those who are around you. You are not alone. You will be missed. If you feel like your problems will be a burden to those in your inner circle or feel embarrassed, dial 988. If you are a veteran, take option 1. We need you to keep pushing forward. Don't make a permanent solution to a temporary problem. If you are a new listener, welcome to the Misfit Nation Show. Be sure to subscribe to our show on your favorite podcast app. Also on our YouTube channel at @the_Misfit Nation. Subscribe and click the bell to keep you up to date on our latest episodes and all of our news. You can also find us on Heroes Media Group and About Face Radio. Now, let's get to the show!
All right. Welcome back to the MisFitNation Show. It's your Sunday after dinner edition. Hope you guys had a great weekend, and I'm glad you chose to fly with us tonight and collect those frequent flyer Misfit Nation miles. I'm not sure what they get you in life, but you do get some knowledge, you get some tips, some tricks, and maybe you get to have a good time with us on the show tonight. On Tuesday, you get Steven and Jake. Sunday and Thursday, you get me, yours truly. Tonight, we have another great one. I want you all to sit down and imagine this. You grew up in life patriotic. Your dad was a Marine, 5th Division, Iwo Jima. Your husband was an MP. While you're married, you have kids. Your son goes in the Army, follows his dad's path into the Army, becomes a pilot. You're proud of your son. You do anything for your children. Then all that comes to an end with a false accusation and a wrongful conviction. Tonight, we have our 3rd installment of this series. We have George and Sam coming on to talk about their son and brothers, Rick Livingston, who is in the military disciplinary barracks right now, falsely convicted, wrongfully accused. And they're going to tell his story. They're going to share it with you. And I'm not going to take a lot of my time talking to you. I'm going to let them tell his story and share what they've gone through. So tune in, sit back, relax, and get ready for a good one. Welcome, George and Sam.
Thank you for having us.
So I just gave, I guess, my least dramatic way of putting that out there. So I figured I put it out there as best as possible. But I want you two to introduce yourselves first, and then we'll talk more about the story.
Okay. I'm Georgia Livingston. I'm Rick Livingston's mom. I'm the daughter of the Marine that was landed on Iwo Jima. And we are a very patriotic family. And this has just been devastating.
And I'm Sam. I am his little sister by 2 years. And so I am the sister, the sounding board, and his paralegal at this point, getting all of his documents for him, along with being a mom and career and all that.
You've both been thrust into a whole new world by this situation.
Yeah.
I'm saying situation, it's horrible. It's a horrible situation for anyone to go through, especially when it's so egregiously wrong. And now you have to be a paralegal. Mom has to get up every morning, start her prayers to maybe get his name cleared and maybe get him out of there. You're doing all the paperwork side, and now you're both trying to get out here and get the story out there. So if you guys don't mind, start the story wherever you want. Let's get through that a little bit, and then we'll start asking questions.
We believe our son was wrongfully accused and wrongfully convicted of domestic violence and sexual assault by our ex-daughter-in-law. Never in a million years would we think that would happen. She was us. She was our daughter. So to live that, it's been very hard. Huh? And yeah, he was in the military for 16 and a half years. He was a highly decorated Black Hawk pilot. We were so very proud of him. We still are very proud of him. And it's a lot.
Yeah. So in 2018, Rick was charged with multiple counts of domestic violence and sexual assault by 2 claimants, one being an ex-wife and one being an ex-girlfriend that got brought into the conversation about 6 months after the ex-wife initially presented with her claims. The El Paso Police Department, because they were down in Texas, El Paso Police Department investigated all of these claims, and they found no evidence of anything happened. There was no evidence of anything. There were no reports. There was no basis for any of this, and they decided not to pursue charges. They did not do anything with him. They were like, this is baseless. This doesn't work. The Army then stepped in and charged him, found him guilty, and ultimately sentenced him to 17 years at the USDB in Fort Leavenworth. So he had 4 official charges. Military law is charges, and then he has 19 specifications under those charges. And 3 of the specifications were not even brought up in court-martial, but he is found guilty of them, even though they weren't even brought forward. Initially, at presentation of charges, he had more than 40 specifications, and they busted it down to 19. But 17 years in prison at Fort Leavenworth, which we are wildly blessed in that idea because he's within 45 minutes of most of us. And so we get to see him on a regular basis and have been able to be with him through this whole process because of visitation and things like that. The big issues that we have seen, that we have learned of, because we had no idea that military justice was so different than civilian world, was there's so many different constitutional changes. So they're not allowed the constitutional rights that we are. The UCMJ does not participate in that. They don't have a unanimous jury because their jury is a panel of peers. So you have to have 75% of the panel, not unanimous. His jury or panel was mostly made of officers that were on base with him and his ex-wife, because his ex-wife was in the military, as was his ex-girlfriend. His ex-wife was an officer, West Point grad. We talked to lots of military and non-military lawyers during this process, and they were like, you don't have any hope. The West Point thing is going to hold out. The officer thing is going to hold out. And so we were kind of, just the knowledge that we were not going to win this was pretty hard. There was no evidence during his trial, no evidence presented other than testimony. So the ex-wife and ex-girlfriend testimony only. He was not allowed to present pictures, documentation, emails. He wasn't allowed to do any of that because the judge decided that it could impact the victim's integrity. So his ex-girlfriend, who initially denied a relationship, just said that he randomly sexually assaulted her. Then he said, oh, I have all these pictures. I have all these videos, explicit things. And she was like, oh, okay, well, we've been in a relationship, but he still sexually assaulted me. And so she can lie about that. And CID let her change her testimony in the investigations, and it's videoed that we have. And so she lies about it, but we're supposed to believe that she was sexually assaulted. One of those episodes of the domestic violence that she said happened to her was a night they had been drinking. They got in an argument. She wanted to go home, and he wouldn't take her. So she called 911 and asked for a ride to go home. Said they were fighting, and she wanted to go home. Police came. They interviewed both of them. No charges, no nothing, no evidence of anything. She never even made an assault claim. They drove her home. No reports were filed. We just have a 911 call. And then a couple years later, this was one of the instances of domestic violence and sexual assault that he was found guilty of. So it's just, there's so many things that are just so wild in here that immediately upon them making a claim, they're automatically a victim. And to, in no way do we say that we don't believe people that say they've been assaulted by any means, but we have to have some proof and some guide. You know, he had a fantastic, non-violent, very healthy career for 16 and a half years. And then all of a sudden, he's being made out to be this wild monster.
It's insanity. And when I looked up his name, the first thing that comes up is him in Hurricane Harvey.
Mm-hmm.
Black Hawk behind him, medevac Black Hawk behind him. And you don't just get to fly those if you're a bad person. Pretty important birds. I got to fly on one when I got wounded in Afghanistan. Took me off the battlefield in one of those same birds, and the pilot was my lifeline. And I don't think those pilots are bad people. So if that's the first picture that comes up of him online, that shows the character right there. That's the first thing that comes up. To find out other things on him, you have to really dig deep to find the case and such. And just hearing what you said about the two accusers and how one was allowed to change a story on video in CID. And I think that CID office, I think it's at Fort Bliss, obviously, but had a lot of issues in that same time period with other cases. Them and Fort Hood together. Both of them had a lot of cases, or Fort Cavasso, so back to Hood now. But they had a lot of instances with their CID offices at those times that went, I guess, astray, and they let things happen and just put the facts that they wanted forward and not the actual facts.
Yeah.
And Rick was also an instructor. He was one of their lead instructors for the Blackhawks. So,
Yeah. And again, no criminal, nothing. Like,
never a bad review
on routine. But other than
Yes.
that, he was, he always had amazing reviews, always in favor of, and thought it's something in the review where it says he's in favor of the SART program. Like, so he believes in that program, but now he's going to be this monster that just beats women and is raping them, and really, and you're going to see this a lot. We have seen this a lot with a lot of people we've talked to with artists, and you had spoken with him earlier. There's always a catalyst. There's always something that it seems that you're going to win from. So with his ex-wife, they got divorced in 2014, which doesn't make sense. I'll explain in a minute why all these charges happened in 2018. So in 2014, they got divorced. She was an officer. They were having a verbal argument, and they had some decline in marital health. And they had a verbal argument, and she pulled a loaded gun on him.
Wow.
She's in the military. She is well trained. She pulled a loaded gun on him. He physically disarmed her. They separated. They divorced. They went on their own careers in the military. So in 2017-18, she moved to Bliss with their 2 children, and they got remarried. So they remarried. So someone that has been abused, beaten, all of this in 14 and before, remarried him voluntarily. I mean, in Texas. She went to Iraq. He found evidence of an affair, and she came home to divorce papers again. They went to counseling. He had said in a counseling session that he had proof that she had an affair with another military member. And within a few days, he was being charged with sexual assault and domestic battery. Because in the military, you're not allowed to have affairs if you're married. And so that happened. The domestic violence happened. Charges would be the gun incident when he disarmed her. She testified that she pulled a gun on him in a verbal argument. She admitted to it. He was found guilty of domestic violence for disarming her. So the appeal process, the military appeal process, went through, and they overturned that domestic violence charge and said it was in self-defense. But even to this day, now 5-6 years later, she's a lieutenant colonel. She admitted to pulling a gun on him, and she's not been charged with a single thing. But the appeals court says it was self-defense, and you have to have a crime in order, or a threat in order to have self-defense. So she's a lieutenant colonel now. And so there's just all of these charges. They just don't make any sense. Like, if you really look at them, they don't
none of them do.
work out, like, and it's just, okay. Like, the whole court martial, everything went through, and it was like, yep, you're guilty. All of it. Yep. You can't say that you're a good soldier. You can't use your record because that's not allowed. You can't victim shame, which they're already victims, not just complainants. And it's just a broken system, and more stories that come out about it. We're just hoping someone will listen.
Yes.
Definitely. And like I said, this is the third one we've had on our show, on our platform. Started with Arbus. Now you're our third one. And each one of them has, like you said, a catalyst within there that starts something. The last one was the accuser went home and her husband found out she was with the young man. So all of a sudden it's sexual assault. Arbus, I forget the actual catalyst with his, but it was something along the same nature, but all of them had the same thing in the background, which was the Me Too movement pushing along, and you had to get these convictions. And if you don't get the conviction, then something's going to go wrong with your court or your system there. So it seems like there's a quota system in place all within the same time period.
Yeah.
So people have to get convicted or nothing was being done. And it's a rotten shame, I should say, without going a little crazy here. My brother put on Math Doesn't Math. He posted that right away. He got
saw that, yeah.
And it just doesn't add up. Nothing in that adds up, especially when you're not allowed to present anything in your defense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're proving you have to prove you're innocent, and they don't have to prove you're guilty. You have to prove you're innocent. And how do you convince somebody that you didn't do something? Like, that doesn't make sense.
The math just doesn't. It's not actually mathing up here. And that's the military justice system. For those who are not informed, in the civilian court, you're innocent until proven guilty. And in the military court, you're just guilty until you can prove yourself innocent. But when you're handcuffed and you can't prove your innocence, the cards are stacked against you. So you said you guys lived within 45 minutes of him. You on the side or Missouri side?
Kansas
side, okay.
Yeah.
Right, so
And we're very lucky because I think the other DB is in California. And so we're just, if you have to be blessed about something, at least we can go see him. There, every time I go there, I mean, we went to Fort Leavenworth when his wife, his now ex-wife, when she graduated from her major's course, and we were there, and we went to the park with the statue.
Right.
And every time we drive on post, I'm like, we don't belong here.
Right.
We just don't. But, we take every day one step at a time. We pray, we go to church, we find good attorneys. I have my amazing daughter here who does a lot of the work. And Rick has done a very good job of keeping his cool and maintaining. And at first he was angry. He was so angry, but he's doing a lot better. He's and we're just trying to get him free.
And how often are you allowed to visit him? Is there a time period or you can go as much as you want?
So they have visitation times set up every day, and you can go as much as you want. So typically at the very beginning, someone was there
every weekend. Yeah.
And then he was like, I'm settled. You guys have a life too. And so now, my husband, myself, mom and dad go at least once a month. So he's getting visits. Oh, yep. Our aunts and uncles go and visit him. He has friends still in the military that go and visit him. Lots of people still visit and check in on him regularly.
And all this again just adds to his character. Active duty people are still visiting him.
Yeah.
He told you guys he's settled. That's selfless of him to say you guys don't need to come all the time. That's the kind of person he is. He's a leader. He was a leader in the Army. He's still leading from inside there because that's the way he was raised by you, Georgia, and your husband and your household. Not just the military didn't teach him to be a leader. You taught him to be that leader and to be the person he is. And that's what he did. When he said he's settled in there, I mean, just to say you're settled in a jail, it's not something you ever thought someone would say. I'm settled. I'm good. Come when you can because I know you have a life. That's a self-statement, and it's amazing.
Yeah. And he's, the tricky part is, and I know Argus kind of spoke on this too, the classes and the certificates and the corrective courses that they can take within the DB. You have to claim fault. You have to claim guilt in order to qualify for some of the specific classes. So he's unwilling to. And so he took everything he's willing to, or able to take without claiming fault or guilt. And we sent him 7 to 8 of the federally accredited courses. So it's like a book they send it. And we did. You don't have to claim guilt to take the sexual assault class. So he took it. He's got the certificate. Domestic violence. parenting, anger management. Like we've done contentious relationships. Like all of these, we've sent him all of these federally accredited courses that work for the federal government when people are going on parole. He has been up for parole once and he got denied. And in the military in itself, parole is like 3% of the population a year. So not like wildly surprising. But their reason was that he hasn't taken crime specific courses that he's not allowed to take within the system because he won't claim guilt. But he did take the federally accredited ones. And I went to the parole hearing and spoke on his behalf. And I explained that. I was like, he can't take this class because he is ineligible because of the guilt component. I said, but he's taken it here and it's federally accredited and it's good.
Yeah.
And it's not. It's not like they've just stuck. He's stuck. He can't get out.
And I think I think even to get paroled, you have to admit you were guilty, I think, in order to let them say, yes, we'll let you be paroled. Any fault in this matter. And that's a load of crap to have to admit something you didn't do in the first place that you're wrongfully convicted for to begin with. And you can't get the years back. It's 6 years or so now. He has 2 kids, missed 6 years of their lives. You're in high school now, right? And then once
yeah. The oldest is a senior this year, and then his daughter is 8th grade.
Those are formidable years for those children to not have their dad for something he didn't do.
Right. And he actually has an older daughter who, from a before military relationship, who was 25. She just got married. He he's just missed so much for nothing.
And just recently, just this past June, my mother-in-law, their grandmother passed away, and he couldn't come to the funeral, and he hadn't been able to see her because she hadn't been well. Because, that an hour, 45-minute drive up to Leavenworth is hard on anybody. And she was in her 80s. And so now he has that regret. But, he accepts it. I mean, what else can you do? But it breaks my heart that he couldn't go.
I'm sure it hurts him even more. He won't tell you that, though.
Right. Yeah.
Like writing in his journal, or if he has a journal in there, he's allowed to have that. Oh, he writes a lot of stuff in there that it'll be a great when he comes out.
Yeah. And we've had, we are able to email back and forth to get information to him and things like that. Our dad had a heart attack a couple of 8 weeks ago. And so while dealing with all of this, I have to send him a message like, call me when you can, not emergent. Like, not really. But then I have to tell him over the phone that, our dad had a heart attack. He's fine. I promise you he's fine. He does have to have surgery, but he's going to be fine. And it's going to be 6 or 7 hours. And man, that man called me all day long the next day with his surgery, my dad's surgery, just checking in. And just it makes you crazy. Like to think about all that you have to just sit there in a cell and do nothing because of a political agenda. Like
it is.
It's and that is what it is. Like they know this. That's why they have the DAC iPad committee. That's, I know they know this because I went up and testified in front of them about Rick's case and explained all of this. They know this is happening. They're just not doing anything about it.
When you went and testified, how was the air in the room when you were testifying? Were they actually listening, or were they just kind of checking the block?
No, I feel like they were listening. I feel like I kind of went in, instead of just like a unloading of things, I kind of went in with I need you all to think about this is your son or your brother, and they're married, and this happens, and this happens, and this happens. And so I feel like they heard me. And so I don't know if they just don't have any power. Congress is who runs the UCMJ. They're the ones that have the ultimate control, and they're not making the changes.
It's heart-wrenching. And having served 22 years, I've seen a lot of things. A lot of people do things and get away with it.
Mhm.
And then I see people who were good soldiers and just make one mistake and just get destroyed.
Yeah.
1 32nd mistake destroys their life. But I've seen people do horrendous things, and basically because they knew people,
Mhm. Mhm.
they got hidden or moved away, and the person they did it to ended up hurting themselves even more, and tried to unalive herself 2 times because of it. But that person wound up getting promoted.
Yeah.
And that was in the 90s.
Mhm.
Forward to now, when it's just insane now with the technology, you can see what's happening live and know what's going on at a moment's notice. You said he has email while he's in there, which is great. He can communicate with you, but it's also hard because now you can also send him information what's going on out here. He has no control over anything now.
Right.
He's in that box, like with your dad going through the heart attack. He probably felt so helpless in there that that's why he called you all day.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Be like he was there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I mean, he's just missed. Like, and it's so hard. Like, you can rationalize, like I have 2 little kiddos. They're about the same age as his youngest, and trying to explain to them why Uncle Rick isn't here. We're very like, it's just he's in prison. Some bad stuff happened. And we're very clear, like the truth wasn't told. This is why you have to tell the truth. This is why we are struggling. And there's just some other agenda. And what's wild is, like in our case, both of the victims are military. Like I said, one is a lieutenant colonel now, still active. The other one, I don't honestly have any idea. I don't know. But like, they just continue to move up. They just continue to thrive. They're doing great. Everything's awesome. And like, with the gun thing, there's no crime. Another thing that she did after the conviction, divorce was final, conviction was done, he was in jail. There was an auto insurance claim that was made out, a check for about $15,000 made out to her and Rick. So ex-wife and Rick, not and Rick. The check got intercepted by her. It was supposed to come to my parents because he has DPOA, and they were going to sign it, send it to her, and then they were going to figure out what was going to happen with the money of it. And she intercepted the check, and then she gave my parents, submitted a little fraction of said, here's money from the check. And so my parents were like, how did you get this signed? Who signed Rick's name? Because Rick's in Leavenworth. And she didn't say anything. Ultimately gave about half of the money back to my parents. We talked to CID at Bliss. Like, she had to have, there's really not a whole lot of other reasoning as to how she deposited a $15,000 check when there's an and attached to it in a bank account that was solely hers, because they didn't have anything joint any longer. And so we talked to them about forgery, bank fraud, wire fraud, like all the things, because it was an online bank, all the things. And so we talked to CID, and they said, well, since it didn't happen on base, they didn't have any jurisdiction. None of my brother's crimes
happened on base.
They lived off base. And so again, they're like Teflon. Like, once you're a victim, you're good.
And
the minute she pulled that gun on him, it should have went to the Lautenberg Amendment, the Lautenberg law, where she couldn't be in the service anymore because she couldn't carry a gun.
Mhm.
Domestic violence with a gun puts you into the Lautenberg rule, and you can't carry a gun anymore in service. And to be able to be promoted from major to colonel after that is horrendous.
And she testifies to it. She says, I pulled a gun and he punched me.
Yeah. Saved himself.
Yes. Yeah.
But also because, and CID or the command wouldn't prosecute her because she gave some of the money back. So my husband said, okay, you're out here in the civilian world. You go rob a bank. You take all the money home, and you have a conscience moment hits you, and you take the money back. You're good, right? No, you're not good. It's still theft.
Yes.
But
you're still a thief.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
She has all the things she has done. It's like she has her own RICO case just against her. It's just against her. All the things that has piled up within just our 35 minutes of talking. That's her own RICO case, and whoever's in her spider web is in there too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Wow. That was a good word.
I think you guys are very strong for doing this, and it's awesome that I can have you on here and share. How have you guys learned to cope with this? Because it takes a lot out of you as well. But you said you have your kids, you have your dogs, you have your husband, you have the other kids as well to deal with. Plus, then you have to make sure he's okay in there. How do you guys do all the coping?
I cry some, not as much as I used to. I'm crying now. I'm trying not to cry. I send him money order so he can get phone cards so he can call his kids. He gets to talk to his kids every Sunday. And then if he needs a little bit of something, he can use that money towards that. If he needs running shoes, Sam and I flip-flop. We'll buy the shoes so he can run, so he can exercise.
So she takes care of him still.
I still take care of him. Yes. If I'm a baker. If I could bake and send him stuff, but I can't. We can't send him anything. It has to be on the approved list. I pray for him.
We have a very strong faith. We have a
Very strong faith and a very strong family.
faith. We have a large family. We have 2 little brothers too. So there's 2 more of us.
You have 2
I
brothers.
have 2 little brothers.
I have 2 sisters.
And so we have a big family. We've got amazing support. We, thankfully financially, Mom and Dad have been able to hire the best and the best known and all of that. It just hasn't gotten us
hasn't
anywhere.
worked out.
And so we pray a lot. We stay while it would be wildly easy to harbor hate and unforgiveness towards these individuals, not just the 2 complainants, but the whole system. It's not worth it. It's not worth what it's doing to you. We were angry for a while.
Yeah.
And it's just not worth it. And so we can be indifferent to them and move past that component and work on the forgiveness component and just head down and try anything and everything we can do to find a way for him. And it's become not just him. It's not just about him. Yes, we want him back, and I want my brother back out. But there's a whole web of people that are dealing with the same thing. And so if that means we have to do this and we're going to do this and we're going to be vocal, then we're going to do it. We're just going to help in any way we can. Right.
Got 3 questions popped into the chat. I think you just answered one, but I'll start from the bottom one. It's the easiest one to get to right now. So this is from my brother. He's the host of my Tuesday show. How do you deal with the BS and people acting differently since this has happened? Thank you, Steve.
So if he's asking about how do we interact with my ex-sister-in-law?
I think so.
We try really hard not to. Mom communicates via text with her about kids, getting the kids. We try really hard to get the kids here once a year because they're stationed elsewhere. And so Mom will communicate via text. We have another fantastic sister-in-law that can be impartial. And so she helps kind of communicate.
And she's pretty close.
She was my maid of honor. She is one of my children's godmothers. She was my best friend when they were married. And so I just stay away because I just can't. I just can't. So we just stay away as much as possible.
I think that's the best thing for your heart and your head to do.
Yeah.
I'd up on the other side of bars too. So.
Right. Yeah. And I don't need to do that. I have a great career. I don't need that.
And life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And 3 dogs.
And I bake. I like to bake. Avery, my granddaughter, likes to bake. So she'll come over to the house and make brownies because I can't make brownies. And I'll make chocolate chip cookies and we'll send them to the kids. And when we get to talk to them, video chat them on Sunday after they talk to their dad, and they're like, make sure you tell Avery that the brownies were outstanding. And I'm like, what about the cookies? And they go, well, they're good too. You keep sending them. So, my relationship with their mom was better in the beginning, but now we're cordial. We just try to stay cordial for the kids' sake.
My brother clarified it. Has anyone, I guess, like neighbors or people in town, changed their opinions of you since this has happened?
No, we're we're not very quiet when it comes to the baloney component of it. Just like, how can you, and most of, we grew up in the same area. And so anybody that knows us knows us from when we were kids, like teens, at least. And so there isn't any change with that at all.
And
most
they
of the areas there are small towns, so they're not big cities and within 45 minutes of Leavenworth, unless you're in Kansas City. And so it's a lot of small town life. So you got to know everyone. If you sometimes make a mess in your yard, they're going to know about it. So everyone knows stuff.
Yeah. And they know that Rick's not that way.
No, they know us, and they know
us, and they just keep telling us that we're so strong. And we just keep trying every day.
I've only been talking to you for about 50 minutes overall, and I can tell you're strong. Both of you are strong. And I appreciate that, what you're doing for him and for others now, because you're not, like you said, you're not just thinking about him anymore. You're thinking about all the others who are involved in the same heart-wrenching situation. It's amazing how many are out there.
Yeah.
This one is from Cali Fire 911. How do you both stay grounded and hopeful throughout this? I think you kind of answered that already.
Yeah.
God tells us there's going to be suffering and trials, and we have to use that, and it is only to get us closer to him. And so he is going through his trial and carrying his cross, and in that world, and we are doing the same. She is feeling that with the loss of a child, understanding that he is still here with us, thank God, but he isn't accessible.
Yeah.
And so we all just carry it and hope. God gives us hope. We just have hope.
You have to keep faith alive.
And we definitely have that.
This one's from Pam and Eggs. What advice do you give families going through similar struggles?
Find your group, right? So we've got Arvis and a couple of groups, and find your support. There are support systems. You're not alone. Cry every now and then.
We kind of live out in the country, so you can go out in the back 20 and holler a little bit. Just ask God a bunch of questions.
And we talk about it.
And we talk about it. And we talk about it around the kids. We
don't hide in shame.
Yeah.
We are not, it is not a shameful thing. This is still our family. He is still our brother. This is still like,
it's just a different, I never in a million years would have thought that when we went down to El Paso for the court martial, I'm like going through the motions thinking, oh, okay, well, this will be fine. We'll be fine. And then my husband comes back and says, Rick got 17 years. And I said, I'm sorry, what? And then we had to pack up his house and move him home, or move his stuff home, take care of all of his affairs, say goodbye to our grandchildren.
He just kind of disappeared.
We were, I could say I was lost for a while. I was upset. I was angry. I was mad. But going to church, talking to our priest,
it helps to see him too. It helps.
And it does help
to hug him, to see him,
to make him laugh.
He's still obnoxious. He's still
very,
he's still the same.
Sarcastic. Yeah.
But it helps to be able to see him. Like we understand how lucky we are to have him so close to us, because there are some families that come twice a year to see their people. and we can, at the drop of a hat, go see him. So we're very lucky because that does help. That contact, like you are alive, you are eating, you don't look ill, you are sleeping, you know, like all those things that you can't just hear on a phone call.
Right. You're able to go there and see his face and make sure that he's okay. He sees you, knowing that you're coming. He's not going to go a different direction. He knows he's going to be there. You're going to be there for him.
Yeah.
This brings us to Calvin 307 Todd. What role does family or community play in your resilience?
It's everything. I mean, between my husband's brothers and sister, we are a large family. My two sisters are very supportive. We've got all of our kids. I have my friends at work who know, because they go, "How are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm fine." And they go, "You don't look fine." And then, "Okay, you asked. Here it is. I won't give you everything, but here it is." And they're like, "Oh my gosh." And I'm like, "I know." So
yeah, there's nothing that you can, I don't know that there's anything you can say that will make it better, right? Like if you're just having a bad day, you're just missing him. He just turned 43 a couple of days ago. I had to look at how old I was in a few years.
I wonder why you're looking at your watch. Does it pop up? Or?
Yeah,
just
what day is it? You know, he just turned 43. It was just a sucky day. You know, like it was. We weren't able to do anything, and so talking about it and just saying, like, my coworkers know, I'm like, it's just a sucky day. You know, and I'll tell them on my way out of work, I'm like, I'm going to prison. I'll see you tomorrow. Like, I'm gonna, you know, like
Right.
it's just.
Yeah,
it just is part of our life right now, and we need to fix it. We're
Yes,
not okay
please.
with it.
Yes,
this
please.
is not okay. We're not okay with it.
No.
We cannot enjoy this. It does make us very angry if we sit on it, but
and we can't.
we just can't.
It just, anger and hate just consumes you. So we can't let that happen, because we have to be there for him
yes.
and each other.
Sometimes people don't understand that when you have that anger, you have that hate, it doesn't do anything to the person you're angry at or the system you're angry at. It hurts you more than them. So forgiveness, it sets you free. Or not being angry sets you free, and you're able to live your life and still do the things that you're advocating for, to maybe help Rick get out, or help any one of the dudes that are in there at the same time with him for the same reasons.
Yeah, right.
And Holly said, "Thanks for doing this podcast. I know it's hard to talk about your loved one. She was on with Arvis when she came on."
Yeah.
I watched that one.
Yeah.
Circle of friends here.
Yeah. And we're just so sorry to all the other people that are struggling, right? Like we all
Right.
have this, like we feel what you're feeling, and we're here, and
Definitely.
If
Guys
we
are
can help,
What do you think your next steps are to maybe start the process to get him out? Who do we have to contact? Who does the audience have to get in contact with?
So Congress is who, which those people are hard to get a hold of. They don't return calls very well. Yeah. So state representatives, we reach out to our state representatives all the time. We have ongoing conversations. You know, if we can get, we've reached out to Hegseth, Mr. Hegseth. We've reached out to.
I've tagged and emailed President Trump and Pete Hegseth and anybody who will listen. It's almost, if it's not every day, it's every other day. I'm typing an email.
Nice. And we got a question from another city critic, I believe it's called. Yeah, city critic. What's one thing you want listeners to take away from your story? It could be more than one, since there's two of you.
That our son is innocent and he doesn't need to be there. And we want him home. Yeah.
And I think that this is such an issue that, I mean, he had been in the military for 16 years and just everything was awesome and everything was great. And then all of a sudden it was like, wait, what? Like, honestly, I would never allow my children to join the military at this point, especially my male child to join the military at this point, because they're not safe. They're not protected. All it takes is one person to make one claim and you're done. Like I would not let them join the military. They're not safe.
And even if it doesn't go to court martial, the fact that they're accused in that unit, they're blacklisted in that unit right away.
Yeah.
They have to leave that unit or leave the service because their career is now tarnished because someone said something about them.
Yes.
I had friends in the late 90s when there was a big push to a lot of drill sergeants were getting in trouble for doing things or not doing things but getting accused of it. And I had one, he got convicted, and then at the sentencing, the accuser finally came out and said nothing happened. But his career was over. He was done because it went through that whole process.
Mm-hmm.
Never was able to get above that rank, and he retired at that rank.
Right.
That was in 97, I think it was.
Yeah.
So it hasn't changed.
Yeah. And it's just not safe. And I feel so bad for people that are genuinely assaulted and are hurt because this fake claim situation that's everywhere is clouding them. It's making them not be heard and not be valued. And it's hurting up so many people unnecessarily. So,
And the monetary aspect of it, you say this and then we'll pay you money. I'm not sure exactly how much they get, but it's enough to make people and women not tell the truth.
Yes, and the VA just automatically gives it to them if they make the claims.
Yes.
Yep.
Without investigating. Holly said, military investigators always go back to recruit accusers when they don't have any evidence that a crime occurred. Military justice has no truth. They just want convictions.
Yes.
And that's
what
how
we're
we
learning.
feel. Yeah, that's how we feel about the ex-girlfriend that came out of the woodwork months later. Like, I don't think the ex-wife had any claim and any valid argument. And so we just keep bringing in more people.
Keep fishing until you catch the right shark.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Said only the families understand the horrible grief in having this happen to your son.
Yeah.
My brother chimed with another question. How do we get higher ups in the military and government to listen to these stories and make changes? I think you started this with talking to Pistol Pete and Donald Trump, but there's got to be other people.
Yeah. Yeah. And anybody that has any connections, I mean, reach out to us. We are more than happy to talk. We are more than happy to go and go places and go talk to people and do anything, as I know Holly and so many other people are.
Definitely. And since you said reach out to you, what's the best way for them to get in contact with you?
So we can, how does that work for you? Can they reach out to you and you get it to us?
They can do that.
Yeah, that would be great.
Email me and I email you or call you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So if you do have any questions for them, or if you have ways you know you can help them, reach out to the Misfit Nation. info@themisfitnation.com, Steven@themisfitnation.com, or Jake@themisfitnation.com, and we will get back to you and get your message to them.
Okay.
Thank you. You've been an amazing opportunity for us to,
Yes.
like, we've sat in our little bubble and tried to get the word out, and so you've been an amazing opportunity.
And thank you to Arvis for coming on your show the first time, because I try to watch everything that Arvis does. And then the more I watched it, I was working, and the more I watched it, I just quit working and just watched. It's a great show that you do.
Thank you. We have other not so depressing shows too.
Right.
So you can watch all of them, but this is a third in this series, and I hate that there's 3 in this series.
Yes.
It could probably be 100 more in this series if others stepped up. And we're here for them. We're also here for those who are actually victims. If they want to come on and tell their story, because I'd be more than happy to have their story come on here and get the right person convicted instead of people like Rick sit in jail for no reason. Holly just said, Holly, again, that is the difference with the civilian system as well. Victims do not get paid to be in civilian courts.
Right.
It's a true statement.
Mm-hmm.
Any parting words for the audience?
Thank you for listening. Thank you for trying, if there's any try that you have. And
just keep us in your thoughts and prayers.
we all have bad things. This is just our bad thing. And so we're praying for everybody and hoping for good outcomes. And
Outstanding. And if I get back out to the Fort Leavenworth area to train soldiers again, I go out there about once a year. I'll look you guys up. Maybe we'll go get a lunch or something while we're out there.
That'd be great. Yeah.
All right, Misfit Nation. Listen to Georgia and Sam talk about Rick and his battle and their battle for him. Please reach out if you have anything you can do for them, or maybe just to offer them lines of support to get them through all this trying times that they've gone through for the last 6 years. And if they don't get him out with another 11 years, let's fight to get Rick out and all those who are wrongfully accused out. Misfit Nation, remember, tomorrow is 100% better with you than it is without you. Do not make a permanent solution to a temporary problem. Reach out to us with the emails I sent before. We will get back to you. Call 988. The system works. One of our own had to do it. It worked for them. It'll work for you. Meet you here tomorrow, Tuesday night. Tune in for the Tuesday crew. Till then, be humble, stay hungry, and keep hustling.
Thanks for checking us out and being a part of the Misfit Nation show. Don't forget to visit our website at themisfitnation.com. That's themisfitnation.com. Check out all our past episodes and get some of the great Misfit Nation gear for you and your family. As always, be humble, stay hungry, and keep hustling, because we are
Misfit Nation. Misfit Nation.